Hello everyone, this is a breaking news report. What you're about to see will shock you. Cars submerged in water like a river, homes completely destroyed. This is not CGI. These are real scenes. We'll show you what happened and why experts were totally caught off guard. You will also see amazing acts of heroism. People risking their lives to save others. People were trapped in their vehicles and had to be rescued by boat. Homes filled with water in a matter of minutes. Here's some footage from doorbell cameras, phones, and news crews. Firefighters, police, and volunteers worked tirelessly to save people. They used helicopters to reach those stranded on rooftops. They even formed human chains to save people from their homes. Everyone pitched in to help. Neighbors helped neighbors. No one was too young or too old to help out. You'll see people trying to escape the rising water. You'll also see firefighters rescuing people from their homes. Homes and businesses were destroyed. It looked like a war zone. An elderly couple who lost their home of 50 years. A single mom with kids who had to escape through a window. The pets were rescued from flooded homes. They say that events like this will become more severe and more frequent in Texas because of climate change. They also say that it's important to remember that most of the flooding happened in areas that are not used to flooding. Some people were missing, but thanks to the efforts of first responders and volunteers, most were found safe and sound. Inside the destroyed homes, you could see mud, mold, and lost memories. They're picking up the pieces and trying to move on. And did unallow so many buildings in flood zones. They also say that the city needs to invest in green spaces that can absorb excess water. We appreciate your support. Thank you for watching and stay safe. Vehicles were stacked on top of each other. Streets were unrecognizable. Many families had to leave their homes and stay in shelters while their homes were being repaired or rebuilt. Schools were turned into relief centers. People waited in line for food and supplies. This is the story of the Texas flood that nobody saw coming. First, we need to go back to the beginning. Meteorologists say a huge weather pattern change caused this. Others were angry that the city wasn't prepared for the flood. They saw it coming, but did not know it would be this bad. She raised thousands of dollars in a matter of days. FEMA and state officials worked together to provide assistance to those affected by the flood. However, many people complained that the water supply was cut off and the electrical grid was damaged, making it difficult to cook food or boil water. Also, some insurance companies were slow to pay out claims, which made it hard for people to start the cleanup and rebuilding process. This time, though, the floods came from Hurricane Hannah. As it moved north, it dumped huge amounts of rain. Then another storm hit, bringing even more rain. Finally, a cold front moved in and pushed all the moisture out of the way. All of this happened in just a few days, okay? And since there was nowhere for the water to go, it stayed in the low-lying areas. On March, flash flood warnings were issued, but were they enough? According to Courtney Bowe, a meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Fort Worth, Texas, this is what happened. "We lost everything in 10 minutes, said one woman. "I never imagined it would get so bad. I thought we'd be okay, but the water just kept rising." We had record-breaking rainfall amounts in some locations across the state, and this was unprecedented. I mean, we had some places that picked up over 40 inches of rain, okay? And those are numbers that we just don't normally see. Some areas received so much rain in such a short time that it overwhelmed the drainage system. But how exactly did this happen? Why did this flood catch everyone by surprise? Well, Texas has seen floods before, but usually during the spring when the snow melts. The next thing we want to show you is the real-time impact. Let's listen to what some of the residents had to say. Now, we want to show you the first responders and the heroic rescues. Here's a quote from someone who was rescued. "We didn't wait for help. We became the help." Next, let's take a look at the aftermath. And now we'll hear from some of the survivors. Many people were grieving the loss of their homes and belongings. I will show you the response and recovery efforts. Despite the challenges, people began to donate food, clothing, and money to help those in need. One woman started a crowdfunding campaign that went viral. Finally, we'll hear from the experts. Urban planning experts say that some of the flooding could have been prevented if the city had better drainage. And now, we want to hear from the people who study climate events. This was more than a flood. It was a wake-up call. We can't keep rebuilding the same way. We need to make changes now. As we wrap up this video, we'll show you families returning to their ruined homes. Here's a hopeful quote to leave you with. We'll rebuild. We always do. We hope this video has been informative and helpful. If you have any tips or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below.